All right, and I believe we are live. So, hey everyone to this live stream with the Genius X team and everyone that is participating in the Genius X Multi Token ISPO. I'm pretty excited to have everyone here. We're going to talk through what an ISPO is. There are a lot of differences. So anyone that is coming into the ecosystem that isn't a part of the Cardano ecosystem probably hasn't heard or seen what an ISPO is. The mechanics are absolutely fantastic. I loved the idea and concept as soon as it came in and was, I guess, invented. And we're going to talk about all that, learn exactly what it is, explain everything around it, and then also talk through all the projects that are a part of this as well. We have Smart Places, Legity, Reach, Outlaws Brawls, and Drunken Dragons. All these projects, really cool projects, are part of the Genius X ecosystem and also a part of this multi-token ISPO. So if you work through this process, you'll be able to earn some of these tokens as well. So everyone, we've got a big list of people here. Everyone, welcome to this episode. All right, so let's start off. Now, we do have some giveaways in this as well. So there is a tweet out there. So if anyone wants to participate in the giveaway, find that Twitter thing. I'll put a link down below as well. If you do the whole retweet, follow, do a comment thing, that will put you into the entry draw for the first round of giveaways. So Drunken Dragons, Reach, Outlaw Brawls, and Smart Places Protocol all have an NFT to give away there. And then we have a second one, which will be a Gleam link in the YouTube comments. So you can just leave a comment down below and you'll be able to see that particular link as well. That will come out after the interview. So keep an eye out for that one too. That's your chances to win some of these NFTs. So good luck with that. So first off, I'd just like to thank Genius X for organizing this interview. It's a little harder to organize these ones with everyone in a big group like this, and I'd also like to welcome the Genius X team here as well. So we have Tiffany, Dikemba, and Jason. Welcome to the podcast, and let's go through a couple of things that are unique to all of this. So Tiffany or Dikemba, no, first off, we'll go through the intro. Tiffany, would you like to introduce Genius X and exactly what you guys are doing here? All right, so before we get into that, let's talk about what ISPOs are so we can actually understand it. It's very different from an ICO, initial coin offering, or IDO, initial DEX offering. So Dikemba, could you talk a little bit about what ISPOs are and the mechanics and how they all work? second, Dikemba, we do have audio issues, so it was just brought to my attention. So just give me 1 second. Of course, there are some sort of issues. Yep, okay, I know what it is. So I know everyone else can hear me, so I'll reset this one in 1 second. Right, Dikemba, can you just do one little check there?
Yes, mic check 1, 2, 3.
That should be working. Can I get everyone on the live stream just to give me a thumbs up that you can hear Dikemba? There's always this delay. And then we'll restart this lovely process again, and my camera's turning off. Yes, I sure did, everyone. Gotta love these live streams. Great, we can hear everyone now. This is why I hate doing lives. Doing this normally would work the way I normally do it. Okay, we've got the thumbs up for everyone. Let's start this whole thing again. I'm gonna hit this extra record button just in case. All right, okay. So welcome everyone to this live Genius X Multi Token ISPO session that we're doing. We have a lot of projects here that are coming in to talk about what's going on, what they're doing within this multi-token launch. I also have the team from Genius X join me so that we can go through and understand exactly what an ISPO is. We can talk about that. It's very different from ICOs, initial coin offerings, or initial DEX offerings. So we're going to educate everyone around this. So if you've never heard of an ISPO before, if you're coming externally from the Cardano ecosystem, you're coming in now, fantastic, that's great. You can learn exactly how to participate in this. I absolutely love the mechanism when I first heard about it. It's very easy to do. It's very kind of risk-free because you're not giving up your initial tokens either that you're doing to participate in. So I have everyone here and the team from Genius X joining me. So first off, Tiffany, can you just introduce yourself and give a little roundup of what's going on here?
Yes, happy to do so. And I hope everyone can hear me now. So I'm Tiffany. I'm part of the Genius X team together with my colleagues here in the call as well. Genius X, what we do is we're an accelerator program and also a launch pad. So we mainly are helping early stage Web3 projects in their many different ventures. And here we are having just a few examples of some great startups that we were able to have the honor to work with. And our accelerator programs also particularly focusing on the Cardano ecosystem. So that is where like our expertise lies, and we cater the program based on each and everyone's individual needs. So that's just in a quick nutshell what we do here at Genius X.
And I absolutely love the projects that are coming through here. I've been a big supporter of everything from the very beginning as well. And like I said, I absolutely love this particular mechanism. So Dikemba, can we talk about what ISPOs are, the mechanism, and how it all works?
Sounds great. Thanks, Pete. I'm Dikemba, head of finance at Genius X. And so an ISPO, or initial stake pool offering, is a decentralized permissionless funding mechanism that utilizes Cardano's proof of stake architecture. So normally delegators delegate the ADA to stake pools, and they receive ADA staking rewards, I say at around 4 or 5% annually, or annual return. However, in an ISPO, a new project or startup creates a stake pool that you can stake your ADA to. However, instead of the delegator receiving ADA staking rewards, projects keep virtually all the staking rewards that's paid out to that stake pool. These ADA rewards are used to fund the project's development. In exchange for those delegators giving up their staking rewards, the project gives them the native token for their project, which usually is a governance or utility token that has some ability for the project's use. So, in traditional finance, startups usually only get funding from venture capitalists or accredited investors of, high net worth. However, a defining characteristic of the ISPO is that it's open to everybody. Whether you have 10 ADA or whether you have 10,000 ADA, you can support a promising startup. And so the Genius X Multi Token ISPO takes this innovation a step farther by allowing you to get multiple tokens of different projects in a single ISPO. And so in addition, these projects are as you see above, are projects that are in our accelerator program. And so we've assessed them and reviewed them and only accepted ones that are confident and who we feel that can bring some utility and enjoyment to the ecosystem. And so just to end it, like I said, the benefits for delegators is that you get 5 different project tokens in a single ISPO versus the usual 1 token per ISPO. And then you get the more of a quality assessment from the Genius X team.
And that's absolutely brilliant. I love it because it's not like all of these projects could have started up their own stake pools and been competing against the ecosystem in general, but instead you guys are going through phases of different ISPOs, and then this one collectively raising funds for a lot of projects all at the same time. So I'd like to talk about how beneficial this is for the actual projects and in terms of raising funds and how much they could potentially raise. So Jason, could you comment a little bit about this?
Sure. So obviously, ISPO has been very instrumental in helping startup to raise funding for their project, basically through the community in a very decentralized way. I can give you a few examples. I think one of the biggest successes of the ISPO financing is with Meld, which raised, I think, $10 million worth of ADA last year. And also for our own projects, because we have Genius Yield and Genius X. And for Genius Yield, we had about 15,000 delegators taking about 270 million ADA over a period of time. And for Genius X, we had 14,000 delegators, I think. And in the peak time, we had around 200 million ADA staked. So if, let's say, somebody does an ISPO with 200 million ADA staked for a period of, let's say, 4 months, assuming a 4% annual percentage yield for ADA staking. And if you do the math, and you can actually figure out the funding amount that you can raise is actually very comparable to what you raise typically from venture capital funds. So obviously it's very big and impactful.
It is absolutely huge. Now, I'd also have an extra question here for you. How are you working it out with this multi-token ISPO? So you've got the 4 stake pools, I believe, and the delegations coming in. How are you dividing that amongst yourselves across all the projects? Is there a particular split or anything, or is that top secret and you can't talk about it?
Yeah, so basically, so we have multiple stake pools, but we organize in the way that we have the 5 projects that participating in each of the staking pools, and according to a certain percentage. So for the delegators or whoever interested in participating the multi-token ISPO, they can look at the pools and determine what's based on their best of interest and what's the preferred ones to participate. So that's basically how it works. Dikemba, would you like to add anything?
Yeah, great answer, Jason. So as Jason kind of talked about, is that you get the tokens from these 5 projects. So they're all giving a similar percentage of the total token supply. And if you delegate over the whole ISPO period, you'll get that similar percentage of each of the project's token. So it's basically one ISPO gives you the value of 5 tokens. And that's any pool, any of the 4 Genius pools that we have, you can delegate to, and you will get that same percentage token allocation from the 5 projects.
Yeah, thanks, Dikemba.
Absolutely brilliant. Jason, did you have any more to add there?
No, that's basically the way how it works.
Okay, great. So if you're coming into the Cardano ecosystem for the first time, or if you're a trader, you just have tokens on an exchange, for example, none of these tokens are on exchange. And this is essentially your first opportunity to get some of these tokens and be like very early into a particular ecosystem and project. So if you are on exchange, how do you go through the process of starting and being a part of an ISPO? I think Jason.
Sorry, yeah, I can answer.
Yep.
Okay, so if you're on a centralized exchange or some of the big crypto exchanges, you can't get into these funds or get access to these tokens. Even though even though they may have a staking available, you don't actually control where they stake their funds, and you don't actually control maybe all the returns you can get. To to be able to participate in the multi-token ISPO, or I guess any ISPO for that matter, you need to get your ADA to a personal crypto wallet that's compatible with Cardano. And so some of the famous ones that you might have heard of, Eternal, Namni, Daedalus, all of these give you the ability to delegate to any pool of your choice. And you also have control because you own the private keys. So first, if your ADA is on an exchange, download one of those crypto wallets safely. Do your own research on that, and then transfer your ADA to that crypto wallet, and then you can delegate. And just for anybody who wants to know, on our main YouTube website, Genius X, you used to Google, Genius X Multi Token ISPO, we put a video out there of a how to actually delegate and go through this process using the Eternal wallet.
Great, thank you for that. And I really have to stress that it's a self-custody thing. So it's your keys, your ADA, so you're in full control. And staking on the Cardano ecosystem is very liquid. So if you need to move tokens back to an exchange, you can do so at any point in time. You're not locked into anything, and you still have full control over your asset. So that's really key and really important. Very different in the Cardano ecosystem as well. So in terms of moving the assets over, what do we get for staking? I know each project is a little bit different in regards to its token distribution from this ISPO. What do we get out of it exactly?
So I think it might have been mentioned earlier, but so there are 4 pools in total in the Genius staking pool. And regardless of which pool that you delegate your ADA to, you would earn in return the 5 different native tokens. So the projects that we have here, from Smart Places, Legit, Reach, HHMC. I'm not forgetting one, am I? I think I mentioned all 5. And Drunken Dragon, I'm so sorry. I meant, yeah, all 5. Yeah, so I think that answers the question. I mean, in terms of staking rewards, everything is split equally between the 5 projects. So regardless of which pool that you delegate your ADA, and then you would get rewarded in those 5 tokens.
Yeah. Do you have any details in regards to, like, if I stake 1,000 ADA to the pools, like how many tokens I get back from each project?
I think since there's 5 projects, that's a equal split. I don't have the exact numbers in mind, but I don't know if they can Jason, if you wanted to comment on that.
I'm sure we can find it on the website or something, and we can work out the math, so we can work out what split we're getting of the tokens, etc.
We also have a Medium article a bit more detailed about the multi ISPO, so all the information can also be found there in regards to also the starting and ending dates of the multi ISPO for the Genius X. Sorry.
Okay, brilliant. Okay,
yeah,
so let's get to Kemba.
Yeah, so in the multi-token ISPO Medium, there's more detail, but it's around an equal percentage of the total token supply. And if you delegate over 25 epochs, which are 5 days each, around 4 months, you'll get that same percentage of each token from each of the Genius X partners. And so just know that it's the same percentage of tokens that you're getting of the total token supply.
All right, brilliant. Thank you. All right, I think we've got a really good overview of the ISPO, the mechanics, and everything, how it works. Let's go through the projects now and find out exactly what these projects are building and what we'll be getting, what we can use these tokens for when these various projects launch, and they're all at different stages. So I'm pretty excited. Some of these projects I have interviewed before previously. So if you go through the show notes a little bit after, I'll put all the links to those previous interviews as well, so you can check them out, get a really detailed overview of everything as well. So we'll start off with Smart Places protocol first, and we have Bjorn here to give us an update. So if you've seen the interview before, we'll get an update and an overview of the project and learn exactly what is going on and how we can participate and use these tokens in the ecosystem. So Bjorn.
Yeah, thanks, Pete. Thanks for having me again. Great pleasure. Hi, guys. So yeah, my name is Bjorn, CEO of Smart Places, and I'm looking forward to introduce you to our Smart Places project. So Smart Places, we are a decentralized social ecosystem that rewards users for connecting and interacting. And our big goal is to bring social media to blockchain. So we want through that create a new era of socializing. And if you consider this business models of centralized social media companies, what you see is that on the one side, these companies offer free services, but in the end, these services are not for free. You pay with your data. For you as a user, it's highly intransparent. So that means you never know where this data finally ends. And on top, you're never rewarded, even though you are actually, as a user, the one who's creating the content and the value of the system. So we want to change that. We want to empower users, especially in regards of allowing users and enabling them to monetize their data. So that means you as a user, it's up to you to decide whether you want to share your data or not. If you do, then you are rewarded. If not, nevertheless, you can use the system. Same goes for ads. You can decide whether you want to have displayed ads on your devices or not. If you do so, you are rewarded again, and if not, nevertheless, can use still the system. So that is a let's say framework, the basis of Smart Places. And on top of this framework, we are developing actually 2 tools to bring this to life. And I would like to share my screen to show you some more details about that. I hope this works. I hope you see now my screen. I'm just looking around if somebody is
good.
Yeah, okay, that works perfect. So what you see here is our some images of our mobile application. This mobile application that is actually the core of our whole project. It's an app for Android and iOS. We will launch this app in the beginning of the next year. And as you can see, it's a 2-layer solution. So on the one hand, you have social media layer, like social media like we know it more or less today. So you can upload images, for example, you can post your status. But with a big difference, as said, that you can by yourself decide whether you want to share your data or not. And if you do, you are rewarded. On top of this, we call this connect to earn. We have an incentivization mechanism in place. So that means whenever you as a user are active within the ecosystem, you are rewarded. And the more you contribute, the more tokens, the more rewards you receive. So that is a layer 1. The core of this app is the layer 2, that is the geolocation layer. So what we do is we allow users, if they have activated this geolocation functionality, we enable users to make their thoughts and needs visible for the people in their close vicinity. So imagine a use case, for example, some years ago, you might remember if you're at a university, for example, and you just would like to get in touch with other students around you, then actually today there's not really a solution for doing this. And the same, maybe you know today, if you're at your co-working space and you would like to get in touch with someone who's around you, that's actually today not that easy. And the same goes for exhibitions, for example, if you look out for experts who might be there or partners, but also outside of the business, if you, for example, in your gym, in a crowded park or wherever you are, actually, it's not that easy today to get in touch with the people who are directly around you. So we developed exactly this functionality. So all that you have to do as a user is to activate the app, to make a post. And so you are able to interact with the people who are directly around you. And these people can do the same. So they can like your post, they can answer you, or in general, get in touch with you. On top of this, we added the kind of map view. So you can choose to explore your environment using this map. So you not only see events of other users, but also some special offers of businesses that we are partnering with. So imagine you're at an airport and looking for a rental car, whatever, then you can just go there and get a discount. On top of this, we have our cam view. So we have some AR elements included. So that means that, for example, partnering businesses, let's say a restaurant, They are placing tokens at their location, and you as a user, if you go there, you can collect these tokens. So yeah, it's a kind of win-win situation. You as a user explore your environment, you can collect tokens, and as a business, you can attract users in order to bring them to your place. That is our mobile application, as said, one of 2 tools. 1 second, I have to change now. You now should see our land plot site. That is basically the second tool we are working on, because we think it's not only enough to support and promote social interactions. We also think it's very important to promote these places where these interactions can and should happen. So what have we done? We divided the world, as you see it here, into small hexagons. So each hexagon is a representation of the real world. You as a user now, you can just go there, and I show it here. You click on a land plot. You have a payment process. After finishing that, you receive an NFT in your wallet. Why should you do this? If you bought one of these NFTs, one of these land plots, and interactions happens on these real-world locations, which is represented through this NFT, then you are rewarded with tokens. So whenever interactions happens, you are rewarded. If there happens a kind of data monetization, you are rewarded. If ads, for example, are placed there, or businesses, for example, placing their goods or services there, you as a user get rewarded. So that is, in our perspective, very beneficial. As you can see, the system is already live. So it went live some months ago. We sold till today 8,700 of these NFTs. The first 5,000 have been sold out within the first 24 hours. So that was a quite successful sale. And yeah, at the moment we are still developing, of course, adding some additional functionalities for the land plot holders. We call them pioneers, as they are the early supporters of the project. So we will, for example, enable that you as a land plot holder can put in affiliate links on these plots. That is one example. Or, for example, we are adding some kind of onboard mechanism so that you as a land plot holder can reach out, for example, to local businesses in order to also have some included here in the ecosystem. Yeah, that is basically smart places in a nutshell. And thank you for the attention. Open for questions.
Brilliant. Thank you. We did have a couple of questions from the live stream as well, and I do invite people to ask questions while the projects are presenting as well. Now, first one is just to confirm that potential launch date of the mobile app, etc. What was your expected launch date?
So we will launch this in the beginning of next year. That is that will be the launch date of the app. Yeah, and we will of course combine this with the IDO that will be after the ISPO and this time period.
Okay. And in terms of these plots, they're being sold on the secondary market as well. So this was all part of a NFT sale that you guys did to map out and get all those plots in users' hands. Can users still get them on secondary markets? And how does it work when you change your mechanism? Because like the lots are already allocated to a point. When you buy one, do you actually buy that point, or how does that work?
Yes, at the moment, that's exactly that. You can buy them on JPEG Store, for example. What you also can do, maybe I just share my screen again, because then I can directly show you that live. What's also possible is that you see it here, these yellow ones. These are ones where, for example, offers can be made. And in general, you can just go to the secondary market and buy the plots that are offered there. And we are also working on a swap possibility, but this will be implemented later.
Very cool. And the last question I got here for you is around privacy. How do you keep yourself private and secure on this platform when people can track where you are or know where you are when you're in a little location and you're broadcasting yourself? How do you keep yourself secure and safe and private?
Yeah, that is a great question. So maybe I haven't mentioned this. I have a legal background, specialized in data privacy for years. So that is one of my most loved topics, I call it that way. We are totally aware of this aspect, but in applications, so if you broadcast your thoughts and ideas, it's not like that you directly can locate where exactly somebody is. It's more like you know that these people are around if they activate this geolocation layer, but it's not like that you directly see where this person is. So in this regard, that is not the biggest danger. And then in general, of course, we take this aspect extremely serious. So not only in regards to GDPR, but also to make sure that nobody's harmed through this solution.
Brilliant. Okay, thank you for that, and thank you for the presentation. Like I said, if anyone wants to find out more, I do have a full interview on the YouTube channel as well, so please check that out. And our next project here is Pierre from Legity. Let's get a little overview. Again, there is an interview of this if you want to find out a little bit more. But Pierre, welcome. Welcome to the Multi-Token ISPO.
Hello, everyone. Nice to be here with you.
So let's get an overview of the project and understand exactly what Legity is, what you guys have to offer, and also how the token actually falls into place with this one.
Yeah, sure. So with Legity, we are building the first regulated crypto wealth platform. And the question we often have, from investors and partners is, what is our value proposition comparing to other crypto platforms? And the answer is that we are building a crypto platform for the wealth management industry and the independent financial advisor. So in that way, we are bringing, crypto to the mass adoption in the saving landscape. Because right now, in the market, the most important part of the amount of wealth is in the hands of traditional investors. So those investors, need a CDFI platform to help them to get in crypto. And we are exactly building that through a network of independent financial advisors. So now in Europe, the amount of asset under management, in this industry is around 25 trillions, according to McKinsey, And we can expect in the next 3 years that 2% of this wealth will be, reallocated from traditional assets like equity, bonds, or funds to crypto. So it's a huge amount of wealth that can get in crypto. But all of this industry really need, some platform to simplify the access. And really the key component for that is to build also a distribution network, through independent financial advisor, across Europe. And in other words, it's to build, the first platform suitable, for this industry, for financial advisors and for family offices and their clients. So, and what we propose, in our solution is on one side, an easy access to buy, sell, and store crypto, and also to access some, DeFi yield strategy. But also, we already implemented some wealth management solution like account aggregation. So right now in Europe, we are connected with more than 500 banks and financial institutions to let the clients connect all his bank account, equity account, life insurance, and so on, in order to visualize all their wealth, And in that way, you really bring crypto in the overall context of the wealth of the clients. So it's really important, for the perception of this new investment asset class. And our LTY token is at the heart of this ecosystem because it provides to token holders, it can be investors or users or financial advisors, many perks and benefits in our ecosystem, like many advantages in terms of exclusive investment solution or some discount for the client in terms of transaction fees. And regarding a financial advisor, by staking our token, they can access to specific statutes like premium plus, and elite membership, and they can increase their referral rate because we provide the part of our remuneration will also be distributed to financial advisors because they bring their clients on the platform. And now in the industry, in average, one financial advisor have around 100 clients. So we can expect that by the end of next year, we will have around 5,000 financial advisors on the platform. Right now, the platform, the first version of the platform with all the wealth management tools is already on the store. And we will launch the crypto platform by the end of the year. So most of the development is already done. We are just making a lot of testing, you know, and security tests. And in addition, we are also preparing, you know, a DeFi saving platforms in order to provide, you know, some yield strategy to our users. And this platform will be on one side integrating to the app for all our community of traditional investors. And it will be also launched on a DeFi web app for crypto investors. And this platform also will be ready by the end of the year. We will launch this platform. Yeah,
absolutely brilliant. I love how close you guys all are to launching a product as well. And the other thing is this is one situation where you do get financial advice. This is financial advice. Nothing on this podcast is financial advice, but anything on the Ledgerty platform is actually financial advice because you do have regulated financial advisors on there. So it's the only place where you can actually trust someone else's advice and what's going on with your crypto assets and anything else that is in there as well. Now, you said 25 trillion in this kind of industry. That's a little bit of money.
Yeah, exactly. It's a you know, a survey from McKinsey, a survey from 2020, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, McKinsey say we have now in Europe 25 trillion of wealth, you know, in the wealth management industry. So it's a huge amount of money. Yeah.
Nothing to be sneezed at. And also, I know you guys have to launch country by country or region by region. What is the launch plan looking at? You're going to launch at the end of this year, but in what countries? When will I see something like this in Australia? And I'm assuming the US is far, far off in the future. What's the plans and the timeline looking like for that?
It's a very good question. So we will start, you know, we'll launch in France and Monaco by the end of the year, the app, the crypto app. And rapidly next year, we will expand to Europe because the regulation, you know, it's more or less the same in Europe. And down the road, we are currently exploring, you know, the opportunity to launch the app in US. So we are in discussion with probably with some partner or other solution. So we expect to launch on at the international level at the end of next year, end of 2023 or beginning of 2024. But it also will depend, you know, on the regulation because it's more and more regulated. You know, this industry is more and more regulated across the globe. So it also depends on this aspect.
Yes, the regulations are always constantly changing. So who knows what will be or where it will be at later in the year with government switching, et cetera, et cetera. So everything's always in flux. Yeah. But thank you so much, Pierre, for that awesome overview. It's absolutely brilliant. Now, next up, we have CJ and Shori from Reach Metaverse. I love this little project here. And again, there is a previous interview that I did with CJ as well. So if you want to learn more about the project, links are in the show notes for you. But CJ, Shori, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having us. And yeah, no, it was super enjoyable doing that podcast with you last time, diving really deep. I won't go that deep this time. We'll kind of do a brief overview of what Reach is, and then I'll kind of tag out and let Shari take over talking a little bit about the token and some of the utility there. So Reach as a platform, our goal is to bring accessibility to the metaverse and make it easier for projects to build 3D shareable spaces that can be accessed from people's phones, people's computers, via downloadable app or on browser, and ultimately in VR as well. We really believe that accessibility breeds functionality, which really unlocks the creativity of the entire community. So we've created a SDK with Unity for people to be able to easily create, upload, and build these spaces faster than they could before, them to run better, and you able to have the interaction of speaking with other individuals in these spaces. You're able to have token verification, NFT verification, and have it so an easy example is have a space where you have to have a certain NFT ticket to get into this concert. And then once you're in the concert, depending on the rarity of your ticket, depends on how close to the stage you can get. So if you have a VIP ticket, you can walk right up to the edge, but otherwise you hit an invisible wall and you're in that area. So kind of encouraging people to be able to utilize real functionalities of NFTs in these digital spaces. We've been developing this for a little while. We've kind of put out some of our own pieces of a metaverse. Our CEO has a phrase he likes to use that if you don't build a shoe, you don't know what tools are necessary to build a shoe. So we've been building our own shoe, which is our Reach metaverse, which we sold condos for. There's still a few of those out there where you have that, you're able to load into your condo, share that space for people to join in. And that's located within a city district that we have that's live now that you can go explore. And then we are developing out an entire continent, which is actually going to be live at the end of this month for people to go into. And one of the things I think we've seen a lot with, especially metaverse projects, is people selling something first, and then you get access to it a year, 2 years down the road. But with ours, you're actually going to be able to hop into your land and explore it the day you buy the NFT. So that's one of the pieces that our development and kind of the ability to scale up development very quickly and make small teams very effective has allowed us to do. I'll actually share my screen real quick and kind of show you a little bit of what people can create. This is actually a world that one of our users created. Let me get this screen share going. And you can kind of see what you're able to kind of walk around and experience within the platform. And this is something where he chose to build this specifically for our PC download. Actually, I should clarify. Can you guys see what's on my screen? Or am I
You're good?
Talking about a black screen? Okay, good. But he built this for PC experience to kind of optimize it. But users and developers have the opportunity to develop something that can be multi-platform. So if he wanted, he could have optimized this to be also run on a browser, and you guys could hop in on browser and experience the same thing. But current functionalities, you're able to go in here, you adjust your graphics, adjust your sound setting, whether you want to hear the other players around you. I can go back and respawn at the beginning of where he has the load-in point for this world. But the real beauty of our SDK is as improvements are made and as we continue developing, a lot of functionalities are added to everybody. So if a project comes in and we develop the functionality for first-person shooters, then anybody could use that technology, and that already does exist within Reach, or racing simulation, or different pieces like that. But the other piece that we find is very important on top of accessibility is the ability to create something in your style. So as you can kind of see from this cartoon metaverse demo, the developer who builds this can have it in whatever aesthetic they want. So you can have people creating games or wizardry things, or have a podcast space, but also on the same thing, you'll have people developing conference halls and exhibition halls and meeting rooms. That's, I'll say, a brief overview of Reach. I'll pause there and let Shaori kind of talk about what our tokens utility is and how people can use it, and how that also is kind of removes a barrier of entry for developers as well in projects.
So Reach tokens will allow access to a wide range of activities, actually. Like for users, let's say it will work as an entry to private worlds, events, or trade NFTs within the ecosystem. When I say ecosystem, Reach, there are different projects developing on Reach. So you can probably trade NFTs of theirs with Reach token too, if they want to allow it. And if you hold Reach tokens, there's going to be a staking program where you can even claim 15% of the revenue generated from those projects, from metaverse projects building on Reach. So yeah, and you can find how tokens can be distributed even through ISPO and all of that through Tokenomics, our website, Twitter, and Discord, of course.
Absolutely brilliant. Now, we do have some questions from the audience around this, and I've also have questions as well. CJ, you mentioned I could create my own podcasting studio in this metaverse and do something really cool and immersive, like have this kind of experience here that we're doing in the rich metaverse instead. How hard is it? What skills do you need to actually build on your platform? It's a SDK, software development kit. What do you need in terms of skill requirements to actually do this?
Yeah, great question. That's one of the most common things we get asked. Right now, we're kind of in the early stages, just like when Squarespace, Wix were starting up, trying to make a builder for web pages, but we're doing it for Web3 in the metaverse. And if you have Unity and 3D development experience, you're able to do so much more and really unlock it. I think that's definitely a growing area, especially as we move into more VR and AR stuff in the future. But back to this, we also are building a in-app builder to make it easier for people who don't have any 3D development experience to be able to create an individual space and then kind of flush that out with pre-existing asset packs and drop in certain functionalities that are already kind of pre-baked into what we call meta prefabs, which is one of the pieces that allows for pieces to be, or spaces to be built quicker and faster. So there will be an opportunity for people with no 3D development experience to utilize custom spaces and make their own. But the ultimate functionality is really brought out using Unity and kind of leveraging the power of that engine, which a question that we will get, I'll see if I'll preempt one, is Unreal versus Unity, because we really like the fidelity that Unity is able to provide and what it allows us to do cross-platform, as well as I think some of the votes of confidence for Unity is the fact that they just, I think, announced a partnership with NASA for NASA to use them. So very confident in their functionality as well as usability.
I do like Unity, and I think one of the key aspects of their platform is the cross-platform aspect. You can use it on a browser. You don't need to install an application of some sort. Or if you want that full app experience and the high quality graphics, you can too. Or if you're on the move, it's a live event, or it's 4 a.m. and I don't want to move from my bed to the computer, unlike today, I can watch it and experience it on my mobile device and hopefully not wake up my partner. So I love that approach, having the multi-device option, because it gives so much more accessibility. And it sounds like this drag and drop builder, the meta builder or whatever it was, I couldn't remember that term name. That sounds excellent, because that's my level of expertise in terms of 3D modeling. So this will really open up opportunities for other people to jump in and build a mini metaverse or these virtual experiences on your platform. So metaverse as a service. Absolutely brilliant. Thank you, CJ. Thank you, Shari.
Yeah, thanks for your time. Thanks for getting up so late.
All right. Now, the next project here is Outlaws Brawls, and we have Ramis to talk a little bit about it. I haven't spoken to you before. We haven't done an interview yet, but we will fix that very, very soon. Let's get an overview of Outlaw Brawls, what you guys are doing and what you're bringing to the ecosystem.
Yeah. Thank you, Pete. Really good that we've all now come together, because I couldn't have learned from, what I've learned today in 30 minutes. For 2 weeks, I've been researching. Couldn't get that in-depth knowledge about other projects, which is very, telling. It's really good, type of passing on the message to the community. So what we've been doing is, since day one, we've launched back in 2021. We've been developing a game. Well, just what my colleague just spoken about Unity, we developing slightly different on Unreal Engine, and the reason being, some of the games that we aspire to, that we've liked as a team and we've played for a number of years, predominantly were based on Unreal Engine. Ours is at the moment 4.27, but the number 5 is not finalized, so we can easily switch once it's final and it's not in a beta version. So it's pretty much easily done functionality. So in terms of what the game is about, it's the common theme of two gangster bikes fighting for dominance. So this is something that we've came up with because obviously you've got the Counter-Strike and Fortnite, all human beings, and we thought why not make animal. Obviously they walk like human beings, but the obviously facial and head is all hyena and coyote team. So the plan is obviously to make it as good, if we can, as some of the traditional successful games that hundreds of millions of people play. And back again to those the names, the Counter-Strike rings a bell, which was since the end of 90s, and it's still really popular. And the Fortnite and the Far Cry, they all punch a few 100 million user base, which is quite unique. And if you look into the the blockchain gaming, it's predominantly the play to earn, bit of a boarding game so far. I mean, there are amazing things being developed, and some of my colleagues touch upon their excellent projects, but some of the ones that we know of, they're quite boring, and I don't want to name names to get a bad repute, but we want to make the game excellent and engaging, and then the play to earn bit second to it. So I think once the game is interesting and excellent to play, the play to earn will come. But if you make the play to earn first, then what will happen is when the bear market kicks in, or it becomes is just too hard to grind, then people just ditch the game. So that's the last thing we want to obviously face. So we've launched our first alpha game just to test how we can manage and pull it off, because as you know, there isn't any SDK available at the moment that obviously serves as a bridge. I don't know, my colleague Drunken Dragon, we will hear what they will say, but it was a difficult part to pull in terms of linking, you've got Unreal Engine onto, the powered by the blockchain, the Cardano specifically. So you've got this, the Blueprint C++ somehow communicating to Pluto's or a Haskell for that matter. So, but we've managed to certain degree implement some of the core functionalities with Alpha Game, and we've tested with about 100 people back in April. And we've done some small drops of NFTs just to, use them as a key. So some of the hardcore community members been participating. So we've been gathering, the bugs, reports, and, removing, issues and problems. It took us a good 9 months, 8-9 months to come to now. What we've got at the moment, a beta, very close to completion, hopefully. And we can, show you some examples. We've got YouTube channel that we upload some of the games that we test, which you can follow in, as long as the other socials, which pretty much all the projects use, the website, the Twitter. And that's pretty much summarizes what we're trying to do. In terms of tokenomics, so, I don't want to take up too much time, but it's a 2-token system, but everyone can read up how it works for the game. One being the governance, another TBC token being the the in-game currency. It's available on our website on the light paper, but we're always available on Discord as well if anyone has any questions. But just wanted to obviously share what the beta is coming along as. If I can just let me find this button of share. Now I'm lost.
Should be at the bottom of your screen if you just move the mouse right to the bottom. Yep.
Yes. So this is just the main menu. This is one of the the YouTube uploads we've got. This is the game the mode that how it starts. Obviously, there is more to it. You've got two bits. You've got offline, you've got online versions, which you can both play. So if you haven't got internet access, obviously offline version will not be play to earn. It will be just for fun. And then, play to earn bit is when you hook up online, then it switches on and then obviously calculates all the scoring and takes into account all the achievements you have. And then you can open up, different NFTs as skin, as weapons, as well as, earn in-game currency by playing the game. So you've got a map of a conquest. So two different, there we go. So, so two token system. Obviously, the the conquest and the battle royale function. So you've got conquest. So you obviously, as the name suggests, you take over the enemy's flags and get a territory. And then battle royale is the last map fighting. So hopefully, we plan to launch both maps simultaneously. Then, obviously, anyone can join whichever method of play they prefer. So I know it's
really
exciting
cool.
to watch, but yeah, so that's the power of Unreal Engine. So I mean, we haven't tried the. Just get this off. We haven't tried. Let me just stop the share. How do I do that? So we haven't tried any other engines because obviously our core team has always been focused on with the gaming development, the background and experience with Unreal Engine. So that's why obviously that was the engine we've decided. So there isn't any agenda as to why one better than the other. It was all about convenience and the experience in the team.
Yeah, I don't want to start arguments here, but it's
That's
all
the last
yeah.
thing you want to do.
I think there's enough in the gaming industry in terms of the arguments of what's better and what you should be using, etc. But each to the platform and the game or whatever you're building is ideal. So there's certain situations where things will work better, and Unity is great for one thing, and Unreal Engine for the other. Now the game is looking absolutely fantastic, and you said there's a beta that I can download and start playing with straight away.
Well, no. It will hopefully, we're planning to release by end of September. So the alpha version we had, but obviously we had to switch off the servers, take it offline because we need the server to host the beta. So we've taken it offline, I think, end of July, because obviously the beta was about to be tested, and we need the servers obviously in real live to test how it's going to obviously work, and if there are any issues we need to fix.
And I love the approach of making the game there and focusing on game first. But there are questions around how does the crypto aspect fit into it? How do NFTs contribute to it as well?
Yeah.
Can you explain a little bit about how the tokens work in there? I'm assuming you earn tokens while you play and you can sell them. And how do NFTs work?
So the NFTs obviously serve as your identity as a key. So once you have the NFT, you login using one of the browser wallets. Again, the Namis or the Eternal. So then that ID, your address is your ID, which is linked to the game. So whatever you obviously accumulate over time will be designated into that particular account. And the NFT switches on the play to earn. The function for that player, because anyone can play, because we did not want to restrict anyone to play the game. So you can just jump in. All you need is a browser Cardano wallet to be able to log on and play the game. Obviously, you need to register. It's a small bit, takes 2-3 minutes. But then once you registered, you need to create a username and the password, the usual malarkey. But once it's done, then your identity is only and solely linked to your browser address, whatever that address for the Eternal. There are a number of addresses it produces every time, but it linked to the stake address. It doesn't change. So that's where the NFT comes in. So if you don't have the NFT, you don't switch on the smart contract play to earn bit. So you just play for fun, basically. But if you want to make it beneficial as well as interesting and exciting, then obviously you need the NFT to be able to earn one in-game currency, and two, open up new NFTs in the form of skins and weapons, obviously for free, basically. So you earn them by playing the game.
Brilliant. Absolutely love the model. Loving how the game is looking as well. And I can't wait for a couple of weeks end of September to actually get my hands and play on the beta as well. So really looking forward to that one. Ramus, thank you for giving us that big overview.
Oh, thank you.
Now, last but not least, we have Drunken Dragon Games, or Valik. Would you like to give us an overview? You've just gone through going through a NFT sale as well on JPEG Store, which is always pretty exciting. Let's hear about Drunken Dragons.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you very much, Pete. So let me share my screen as well, and let me introduce you to the Drunken Dragon universe. So at Drunken Dragon Entertainment, what we're trying to do is to create the most epic fantasy universe or a fantasy franchise there is. And the way in which we want to do it is by revolutionizing the entertainment industry. What we think the biggest issue with the entertainment industry right now is the fact that these fantasy franchises and this intellectual property that are behind them are centralized with corporations, and which sometimes do not have the best interest of the fans and the creators around the ecosystem in mind, right? So what we want to do is use the power of blockchain to empower independent creators and studios and give the fantasy franchise governance to the fans. So this is in contrast to some like really bad things that have happened in the past with some beloved franchises, like for example, Star Wars, where Disney bought Star Wars and they decanonized everything that was not the original movies. And it was, of course, like a big bummer for all the fans. And there's this constant high barrier of entry for independent creators to use these fantasy franchises and this IP. So we want to do it all the way around. We want just to completely change that by using the power of blockchain, by introducing decentralized governance, the decentralized a treasury, just like Cardano is doing with Project Catalyst, and start funding projects that want to basically build on top of a shared universe and let fans also contribute and have a say on what happens with the fantasy franchise. So the way what we're doing right now is actually bootstrapping the universe by creating the first stories, the first characters, the first experiences, the first games, and of course introducing the magic of NFTs for people to actually own the collectibles. Our collectibles will give fans not just a part of the world and something to enjoy, but also a voting power over the fantasy franchise governance. And as you can see, this is actually one application, the Drunken Dragon Universe application, that we're gonna launch really soon. I believe next week is our launch date. And this is gonna be like the first version of a shared platform to start having like this shared fantasy franchise. We're also creating some of the first experiences, like for example, we're going into mainnet soon with this gamified staking experience of our adventure NFTs, which, as you already said, are minting right now. And through these experiences, you'll be able to earn a token called Dragon Silver. And with this, you'll be able to purchase more collectibles to actually use in your fantasy tavern. And there's several gameplay mechanics that we have planned for the future, but our main objective is to create this shared universe and this shared fantasy franchise where independent creators are empowered to continue expanding our universe with all kind of products, let's say like comics, games, movies, etc. And also empower fans which love these products by giving them the power of actually having a voice and a vote over what products become official and what becomes canon, etc. So yeah, if you guys want to check us out, please go to our social media, drunkendragon.games, check out Discord. Everyone is super helpful there. We have the innkeepers, which are really awesome. They answer all your questions. You can try out our alphas and wait for next week for the release of some of our newest experiences. And of course, if you want to get started, then you can just go to our webpage, click here, Mint, and check out our latest collection of adventurers. We invested a lot of time and effort into creating like a high quality art collection. And yeah, if you click here, Mint now, you'll be able to go to JPEG store. And this was something also really exciting that that we did recently. We were the first ones to actually collaborate with JPEG Store to be the first ones to mint over their website and use this collection minting feature they developed in collaboration with us. And yeah, kudos to JPEG Store. And yeah, super excited also to be part of the Genius X Multi Token ISPO. It's great to be part of so many innovations in the space. Thank you, Pete.
I'm looking forward to earning some more of the Dragon Silver and getting into the game as well and experience everything. And I love how you guys are also very close to launching just around the corner. Now, I think the biggest aspect around this is the fact that you guys are incorporating the community into it and bringing them along for the journey. So you're not just creating, people that are playing the game and may come and go at a later date. Once they get bored, you're actually incorporating them as a part of the ecosystem, which is absolutely brilliant. So it means that they'll always stick around because they have stake in the game. They've provided so much aspect to it. So I absolutely love that aspect of what you guys are doing there.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. And, just to be super clear, the token that people will be able to obtain through the ISPO is called Dragon Gold. And this token will also give you some extra voting power over the fantasy franchise overall, and also the ability to earn some of the profit shares by you giving this service of actually voting on what are the products that are being added to the universe. And so that basically a lot of these profits that will normally go to a centralized corporation actually goes back to the community and to the decentralized treasury to further fund other projects and products building on top of our IP.
Brilliant. We just had a quick question about what the numbers on the cards mean for each one of those player cards that you had. Could you just briefly explain what they are for the viewers on the live stream at the moment?
Of course, this is our APS system. So that's our, each adventurer have some base attributes, which are athleticism, charisma, and intellect. And this is a bit like Pokemon, where you can get one Pokemon with some better base stats than the other. You can still level them up, but it's better to have some better base stats. So our adventurers also, if you get like a better APS number, which is the big number in the card, then it's better and more rare, right?
Okay, brilliant. And I believe all those details are on Discord and on your website as well. So if anyone wants to find out more, they can too. And that's it. That rounds up our conversation here for the multi-token ISPO. I know we went through quite a bit here. There was a lot of to cover across all these projects. But I'd just like to thank everyone for joining me on this live stream, all the projects, Genius X, the team there as well, to go through all of this. Now, I am a holder of, I think, everything here. So I've got smart places, plots. I have condos in the Reach metaverse. I will have some NFT assets and be playing Outlaws Brawls when it comes out. And I do have a whole bunch of Drunken Dragon games, NFTs, as well as I've been staking on Genius Yield and Genius X since December. So essentially from day one, I've been supporting the projects and everything around this. And of course, I'm also a Genius Yield ambassador for those that don't know. But again, thank you everyone for joining me on this episode to talk all about this. You can find more about the Genius X ISPO, the multi-token ISPO at genius-x.co. You can find out more about how that all works. And if you're interested in developing your own project and joining the accelerator, there's information to join on there as well. There are a lot of brilliant projects that are working in the ecosystem around this. And I'd love to see more projects come in, get accelerated, get the support they need in the Cardano ecosystem and build some absolutely amazing, brilliant stuff. All these projects are almost at launch point. They're not vaporware. They're not going to see in 2 or 3 years time. It's coming very, very soon. So everyone, thank you so much for building on Cardano. Thank you so much for making the Cardano ecosystem as brilliant as it is.
Thank you so much, Pete.
Thank you.
Cheers.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. We'll end the stream there. And again, thank you everyone for joining me on this live stream. It's been absolutely brilliant. Little technical issues at the beginning, but we got that one sorted real quick. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you. Have a good night and day. Bye.
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 See you.
Thanks, Pete. Have a nice one.
Recording stopped.